Okay, hello everyone. In my Tswana language, I'll say Dumela Mbahaitsu. First and foremost, thank you for joining NETCB 2023. Yeah, we're celebrating a whole 20 years of NETCB, and my name is Mpyane, System Engineer at NETCB. So today I'm gonna share a bit about something that I work with almost every day, Privilege Account Manager. I guess everyone can see my screen, and I'm just gonna quickly just explain what PEM is and all the cool part about it. If I'll start to explain, I'll say PEM helps us to control who gets access to the systems. I mean, for instance, your servers without like giving away the super secret passwords, etc. And not only does it like keep things safe, but it also keep a neat record of who access the systems and who logs in, who logs out, and what they do. So yeah, we call it Privileged Account Manager. So on the screen there, I'm gonna move to the next slide. Um, so what is Privileged Access Management? Privileged Access Management facilitates administrative access across your complex and hybrid infrastructure, and it lets you identify or manage your privileged identities via identity-driven security controls that apply dynamic policies to reflect real-time access requirements. And it does also monitoring the privilege activity, which sometimes reduces the risk of breaches and supports governance and compliance initiatives. So I had to also put this quote here because of it mentioned that 80% of breaches happen because of hackers exploit privileged credentials to gain high level or administrative access to the system's data or platforms and applications. So if I'll actually give you an example, is that if you've got an IT administrator credentials, let's say for Active Directory, you can almost do everything. You can log into the system and delete people's user accounts, and no one will be able to know that it was you because of you might find that you got the credentials through someone who might have shared with you, and you can almost just do that. But I'll just say, think of PEM as a superhero tool for IT administrators, because you know, in how in every company there are certain areas only a few people should access, like super important files or maybe the control center of our digital world, servers, networks, database. So in short, yeah, PEM is our digital superhero. It's keeping our digital world safe, organized, and free from unexpected surprises. It's the kind of hero every IT administrator loves to have by their side. And I don't want to spend so much time on the slides. I'll try to be quick as I'll try to be short, so then we can actually move to the live demo. Um, but so many people ask themselves, what is a privileged identity? Who's the privileged user? So I'll just gonna quickly explain that users with a privileged identity usually have some sort of administrative access to the critical data, systems, or sensitive information. And in quite often we use identities, and that include like employees, consultants, partners, customers. But they also can be application or servers or things or devices. And a privileged user or a account grants access and privileges that exceed those granted by non-privileged accounts. And our say privileged users will include IT managers, directors, system or database or application administrator or development engineering or audit or consultant or C-level or other executive. These users have great access due to layers or skill or role. And why is privileged access management important? IT leaders realize that one of the quickest and most impactful ways to reduce risk is to better manage their privileged identities. And I'm referring to super users, administrators. So most breaches involve gaining access to privileged credentials because they provide unlimited access to systems and data. If I'll give an example, I'll say if someone will get your password on your device, your cell phone, they can almost do everything on your phone. So it's creating almost like a major security and compliance concern this happens on like an enterprise or an organization whereby they're dealing with a critical data or sensitive information. So effectively managing the access of those users who have the ability to do the most harm maliciously or accidentally is a logical step in securing their organization. And with privilege access management, you can manage your privilege accounts, enforce security controls, oversee privileged user activity, deliver comprehensive reporting and auditing. And I've quite done PEM implementation on different organizations, and I was able to actually see how most organizations rely on PEM to protect themselves from cyber attacks, malware distribution, phishing, and data exploitation. So I'll move to the next step. So on this picture, it actually shows the challenges of not using privileged account in an enterprise. So what will happen is that admin shares the root credentials to like IT managers, DBAs, database administrators, in info and system admins, app developers, help desk. And by doing so, system is exposed to everyone with no restrictions and no tracking. If something will happen to the system, none of us will know if it was IT manager who actually maybe might have deleted a file or something, or as a system admins. So that's where PEM comes into the place. And by not having PEM as well, on the side, it can actually show the previous use cases and stories that have been shared with us that the hospital patient data got refilled by doing that, by actually sharing the root credentials to different people, and people were able to share those credentials with external people and bank losses personal data on 248,000 customers. So that actually compromises the system's data, private information, and so PEM helps in overcoming the following challenges. No more security reveals. With privilege account manager, we put a stop to spilling the super user credentials, like having a vault for digital keys, ensuring that they stay secret and secure. And it also puts a lockdown on confidentiality. Ever worried about sensitive information getting into the wrong hands? Like PEM ensures confidential data stays confidential. It's like having a digital garden standing watch over our private files. And also it helps with access with control. Imagine having a magic gatekeeper who grants access only to the right people with privileged account manager to ensure that users get the access they need, no more, no less. It's like having a trustworthy guide in our digital realm. And something that is overcoming is unmasking the invisible. So in a digital world, sometimes it's hard to know who did what. So with PEM, it solved this mystery by keeping track of every action. Whatever you do, it's like having a digital detective, always identifying the users who access sensitive data and ensuring accountability. So this picture just shows how the environment will look like having a PEM in place. So if a user log in with their non-privileged account, they can still be able to, PEM can still be able to identify the user and give them appropriate access to the system. And we can manage the policies, we can manage the shared credentials, we can manage the super user password, and also monitor the user's real-time activities. So system is provided with restricted access, and whoever logs into the system, we can know that it was admin, it was IT managers, it was DBAs, or it was system admins or help desk. And those individual users, whoever does that task, we will know that it was them. So if you're planning your PEM implementation, PEM is supported on the following operating systems: on the SUSE Linux Enterprise Server, 15.1, Service Pack 1, Service Pack 2, up to the latest Service Pack. And also on SUSE Linux Server 12, also the Red Hat Enterprise, Linux 8, also Linux Server 7, Oracle Linux 8, and Oracle Linux 7. All the versions on the 64-bit are supported. Also on the Microsoft Windows servers from 2012 to 2022. We can help you with the implementation. We can install PEM solution on either the Linux or Oracle or Windows. And also the supported application, it supports the system application SAP, VMware, LDAP, OpenStack, AWS, Azure, Microsoft Windows local accounts, also Linux local accounts over SSH, and the supported directory services. It does support Active Directory, eDirectory, Open LDAP, so you can have all that configured on PEM. So then, let's say you're using Active Directory, all the users on Active Directory can actually authenticate to PEM. So you don't need to create users on PEM. You can just integrate PEM with your directory service. So then you use the very same users to log into PEM. And yeah, now it's gonna be time to do the live demo. And yeah, if there's also gonna be Q&A, you can just post your questions, then I'll be able to attend to them after this session. But what I'll be covering on the demo is just to do an overview of the key features and navigate through some menu options, exploring what is available on PEM, and also take you guys through managing access permission, creating and securing the resources, also the reporting, because whatever that you are able to do on PEM, it's captured. We can be able to pull the report and analyze what have you done. So I'm just gonna show you guys now in my live session. I'm just gonna share my screen. And yeah, it's just a message that I wanted to leave for everyone that you can unlock the power of security with PEM. It's not just about controlling access, but it's about securing your digital fortress. Your secrets are safe, your access is controlled, and your peace of mind is guaranteed. I'm just gonna share my screen now. Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen. I'm just gonna log in as admin for now. Then I'll log in as my using my personal account. But for now, I'm gonna log in as admin. So this is how it basically looks. I'm running the latest PEM, PEM 23.3, which is the version 4.0. So on my access page, this is the resources that have been configured for me to have access to. And if you go to the dashboard, you are able to see who are the top users, what are the top resources, and this only showing for the last day. I can actually say last week, because actually implemented this PEM just for a demo. It might not have a lot of stuff, but you can actually add more stuff to it. So I can actually see the top users that Andrew M actually accessed the resources, Keith, Hendrik, and how many times the session were accessed. Like for COAS was 21 sessions that were accessed. And also on the top resources will be your servers, which server has been accessed. So it's being referred as resource. So NCB Guava was accessed 145 times, and NCB PEM, which is the actual PEM server, you can do some configuration within it, and also NCBDA. So these are all the resources that have been accessed or configured on the PEM. And on the side here, you can see that there's a credential vault. It does not limit us to only Windows servers or Linux servers, because I've actually got Windows servers and Linux at the moment. But you can actually set up your application, which I've actually explained that you can do your AWS, Azure, which will fall under applications, and your certificates as well, also your cloud, your databases, your secret keys, all the Active Directory, Linux, Windows, all sort of those things. And The next step is request. On request, this quite often when maybe someone need access to a specific resource which will refer to a server, so they can actually request for that and specify which time, request duration, how long do they need to actually access the resource, and upon the duration time, it will expire. It will kick them out of the session. So this is using the admin console. I'm able to actually approve people or deny or expire. And on the report side, actually whatever that we do on PEM, it's actually, I've mentioned, it's recorded. So there's all sessions here that I can be able to see that who accessed what and what were they doing. For example, I can just look for in most cases, I think it was me that was accessing the. Okay, I can go for Keith. He accessed the server yesterday. He accessed the NCB PEM, which is the server that he accessed yesterday on the 25th, and I was able to see that it was around 7:30, and the end time was like 7:38. I can able to see that, and if I want to actually see what they did when they connected, I can go on the details. It actually shows the username, which I'll know that okay, the person that actually accessed this resource, it's Keith, and the host address is 10.0.84. I've got that evidence, and the target server was the NCB PEM. So what happens is with PEM is that we configure the resources as the back end. So what will happen is the end user will be PEM will be in between the target server and the user. So what happens is that the user needs to log in with their LDAP or Active Directory login details to log into the resource. So from here, I can also see the keystrokes, whatever he did, whatever he was actually um, doing on the server. These are the commands that I can clearly see that he typed. And not only that, I can also see the keystroke replay. Whatever he did, I can just play it now. It will show whatever he was doing in real time. This video is actually showing what he was doing. It recorded the whole session. If he actually took 1 hour doing all these administrative tasks, then it's just gonna show me. You can see now he was typing cd /catch, uh, typing the command ls -l. These are recorded on PEM and stored on PEM. And in terms of the storage and stuff, it depends on how many servers you actually add on PEM, the resources that you add on PEM, and how often do we access the sessions, because that will depend on the storage that we can configure. But with my PEM environment, I'm only running with 100 hard disk and 8 gig memory for CPU, so it's actually quite faster. And lately, I've only configured 4 resources, but I believe that it can it can take up to 15 resources, and might actually take some time to actually get full in terms of the videos that it does record when you everyone access the sessions. So yeah, I can also see myself what I was also doing. I've accessed this. This was yesterday around 8 p.m. and that was I was accessing a Windows server. I can actually go to details. I can see the keystroke. There's nothing, and on the video, I can see that what was happening. So this actually shows me what I was doing. Um, if there's any activity that I've done, it will actually show here on the video. I can actually fast forward if there's something that I might have done. Um, looks like I've not done anything, but I can check the other. I can check, let's see, Kovas. Let me see what he was doing. Okay, I think he has not done anything. Let me check here as well. check the video. Okay, I think he only logged in. Okay, I can clearly see what he was doing. Can see it's showing in real time whatever he did. I'll be able to see. So in case of emergency, that okay, there's someone that deleted a file, or someone actually breached the security, did something that he was not supposed to do, then I can come to PEM, log into PEM, and actually as an admin, I can be able to see what they actually done. Or maybe if there's a task that has been given to someone to do, and they're lying that they've completed the task, and on the other side they've not, I can actually come to PEM and log in and see if they truly completed that task. So it's a very a powerful tool, which can be beneficial for most organizations to implement, so then they can have the visibility on what users are doing. So if I go to the credential vault, this is where I add all my servers. Each server will have the credentials added at the back. So then when the end users log into PEM, it can actually authenticate them using this administrator, but still it keeps a record of whatever they're doing. And I've got the access control here. That's where I also start to add my resource pools. This is where I'll specify if this is a resource type. Is it an SSH server or is it a Windows server? If I go there, you'll be able to see that I can just put a name and description of what is this server for. So then everyone can be familiar when they log into the server. Then previously, in the old versions of PEM 3.7, you had to actually configure an agent on whatever resource that you're adding. But with this latest versions of PEM, I think from 4.0 going forward, OpenText has actually done some good job to do the agentless configuration. So what happens is that you just add the resource here. You don't need to install anything on the resource or on your Windows or your Linux server. By just configuring it, having the credentials in place, the IP address and everything, it actually you'll be able to access it without installing any agent on the server. So, and on the users here, these are the user the groups that you can actually configure. You can actually have your access administrators or your agent administrators which deals with only um, adding the agentless or agent servers, and compliance editors. So these compliance editors will only be able to access the reports field and see what happens, etc. So yeah, that's what you can actually do from these user groups. And there's also another section for external services. This is where I add my LDAP server, but you can also set up your advanced authentication, which is a very cool tool to add on top. Radius server as well, the Auth2 server. But in this case, I've actually configured eDirectory. eDirectory. So everyone that has got access to PEM actually has to be on our eDirectory server as a user, so then can authenticate to PEM. If and to add that is quite simple. Just put your domain name. You choose if it's an Active Directory or eDirectory or OpenLDAP. I did mention that PEM does supply these directory services. So in my case, we're using eDirectory. Then yeah, you put your IP addresses. I don't know. I think my screen has just froze. Don't know if people can still hear me. Can you? Okay, I think my screen has froze. I don't know. Yeah, what's happening? Yeah, but as I was mentioning, is that you can set up whatever directory service that you're using. And if you're using Active Directory, you can set up Active Directory to authenticate your users. And also for HTTPS, it does support the HTTPS. You can add your wildcard certificate so then PEM is accessed on like HTTPS. For instance, for example, if you can see on my browser on the URL, you can see that the log there, it shows that I've configured my wildcard certificate. So then it doesn't have to always ask me to accept the unsecured when I
Sorry about that. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems like there was a technical issue on Andrew's side, and I think we lost him, unfortunately. Andrew, okay, unfortunately, we've lost Andrew. Okay. Oh, it looks like Andrew's back.
yeah, sorry, it was, I don't know what happened there.
Okay,
Can you hear
awesome.
me?
Yes, we can hear you, Andrew.
Okay, give me a minute.
Loud and clear.
I'm gonna quickly share my screen again.
Okay.
Share screen. Okay. If everyone can see my screen. Actually, let me just I had to quickly start my laptop. My apologies. Um, okay. Yes, as I was I think I was on the all web servers. Yes. So I've set up my e-directory here. This is the directory service that authenticates everyone that has been added on PEM, and I've got my server settings here. You can do your policy engines, your access requests here. Can delete the request after 15. Those are like the configurations that you can do. I'm not gonna spend some time here because I still need to show you guys how to actually access the resources. But for HTTPS, in most cases, I always advise the customers to also configure the stiff keys on their servers so then it's secured. If you can just see here, the connection is secured and verified by DGSet. So yeah, this is where you actually come and configure, import your certificate, and yeah, it will ask you for public or private key. You can put your certificate here. So yeah, I'm just gonna close that and audit settings. You can just do your audit settings, metadata, and video settings as well. You can set up and you can disconnect a session when the free this space is less than a certain gig, and the command risk you can also add that. Yeah, I'm just gonna we might be running out of time. So also the packages actually once you've done the implementation of PEM, you actually need to make sure that you've got all the packages because you need the access control console. So you might find that after the implementation, there are some stuff that are missing. So this is where you need to come and get all the packages in place. So then you're able to configure your agent console and everything. Um, And what else can I actually still share from this side before I switch to my account? Okay, I think we pretty much covered everything from here. I think this is the last one that I can actually show everyone that as soon as you've configured your old app, e-directory or Active Directory, this is where you can come and add your group and add the user under the groups. So you can clearly see here that it shows that everything is all the users that you see here is all the users. Everything here is all the users. So I'm quickly gonna log out from here and log in using my account. Now I'm using my account. So first thing first I can do from here, this is what end users will be able to see from their side. Because the other console that I was using was the administrator console. I'm able to configure everything at the resources. But from this side, this is what end users will be able to see. Mainly actually will be your IT administrators. They'll have access to the resources that they need to access. I mean, if for instance I'm only allowed to access one resource, then I'm not going to be able to see the other resources, because that will be a policy that can be configured to say, okay, this user Andrew M needs to be only allowed to access one resource, which will be the NCB 8003. So for instance, how you access this, and you can also filter your resource types. If you only want to see the Windows resources, you can, and if you want to see your SSH sessions, you can. So for instance, now I'm just gonna open the SSH session. It works like magic. This is what happens. Now you are into the server. You can do whatever you want to do within PEM. You can either do whatever you want to do, and you can actually run multiple session. I can go back and let's say I want to open this one, GW01. I can also open this one while the other one is ready. So if you need to do, let's say, multiple tasks, you can just switch across. Now I'm connected to NCB GW01. I can check if group-wise is running. I can check the status, and yeah, I can actually do whatever. I can check the storage. I can see, okay, we actually the hard disk is growing. Can do whatever I do. If I need to add additional storage, I can do that. Only have like 2 minutes left, but you can go back here and open the Windows session as well, just to show you how it actually looks like. Okay, this is a Windows session, and I've just tried to put a little message there. That's what you can actually customize. Do your customize your message, so then when everyone's logging to PEM, they can, if there's a policy that they need to be aware of, you can quickly put that at the top. So you can just do everything. If I'm done on Windows Server, I can quickly log in, switch over to a Linux. Whatever you want to do, you can have multiple sessions here. So then you can just toggle across whatever activities that you might still need to do. Since we're actually running out of time, but I believe that it was a good session. You guys have learned something about PEM, and if you need assistance with anything, you can actually email us at support@netcb.com, and yeah, I can get my sales team to actually assist for a POC. Then we can, because you're not gonna need a license. It's only gonna actually allow 5 resources. Then you can actually see how it can work for you. Then you can customize, do all the policies for you. And if it's a solution that you see that can help your organizations, yeah, you are just a call away. My sales team can be able to assist you with that. So yeah, thank you for joining this session, and I hope it was very informative. And yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you, Toriso.